They appeared to be having some sort of disagreement. I couldn't hear much, but...
What did they say?
I couldn't make out much, but I know they were talking about the Starks and House Forrester.
House Forrester?
I hope you're not in any kind of trouble. But I thought you ought to know.
Why, thank you.
Most people don't tend to notice a call boy. Not in King's Landing, with so many lords and ladies about. You see and hear all sorts of things when people don't even know you're there. Good night, milady.
Good night. It's sexy girl.
Lady Marjorie, you're early.
I was hoping there would be time for us to talk.
Ah, and it's the same actress too.
There's something we must discuss.
Her nose is so cute. And she has nice breasts too.
From the day you arrived in Highgarden, I've thought of you more as a friend than as my handmaiden. A dear friend, in fact.
Thank you, my lady.
And you know how I feel about what's happened to your family. I feel your pain as if it were my own. What you've suffered is beyond imagining. And your poor family as well.
My family wrote me, my lady.
I don't doubt they must be overcome with grief. But you must not despair. We will get through this together. You must understand there are limits to what I can say, especially here in King's Landing, now that I am to be queen. To have a handmaiden from the north whose family fought for Robb Stark. It raises questions at a time I can least afford. Cersei herself cornered me this morning outside the Royal Sept. She mentioned the northern girl in my service, and she painted you a traitor.
Wow, okay.
She was very pleased with herself.
How did you respond?
I told her you are one of my most trusted handmaidens, that you can hardly be blamed for the actions of your father and brother. Nonetheless, she demands an audience. She wants an apology of some sort, for what I don't know, but she's waiting for us now, and I promised I would bring you to her.
Oh, you've got to be kidding
I
me.
wouldn't ask this of you if it were not important.
I gotta talk to
I
Cersei.
cannot afford
Scariest
any
woman
conflict with Cersei
in
with the wedding
Westeros.
so near.
What do I say?
Find a way to appease her. Humor her. Tell her what she wants to hear.
Do you think that works?
See if the Queen Regent is ready to receive us.
Well, here we go. Hi.
You'll be fine. I know you will. You may feel one thing, but you must say another.
Good luck.
I'm gonna need it. Whew. Alright, here we go. I wonder if it's the same voice actress as well who does Cersei. Oh, they're with Tyrion too.
You can do this.
Ah, Lady Marjorie. Aren't you looking lovely this evening?
Lord Tyrion. Your Grace? With your permission, allow me to introduce Lady Mira of House Forrester.
Your Grace.
The girl knows her courtesies. Impressive.
Very nice.
You
It's
may
the same one.
rise.
House Forrester is a northern house loyal to the king.
Are they?
I beg your pardon, Your Grace.
I wasn't talking to you. I want to hear from the girl. Is your family loyal to the king?
Perhaps you should ask the new Lord Forrester.
He's not here, is he? She is. The girl can speak for her.
Oh shit, I should have
Yes,
done
Your Grace.
Joffrey.
For the one true king.
Shit.
The one true king. yet she
Yeah.
didn't say which.
Shit!
The girl is clever.
She only meant...
I don't care what she meant. I care what she said. I won't stand for impertinence from a girl of the North.
I'm
If you
sorry.
would give her the chance to explain...
Perhaps she can explain why the Foresters have been loyal bannermen to House Stark for centuries. A house of traitors.
They were the Wardens of the North. We all served at the pleasure of the king.
Clever girl.
Perhaps too clever for her own good. And she
Oh,
would have us
shit.
believe she didn't know which king she served. Is your house willing to swear fealty to your new liege lord, Roose Bolton?
Absolutely.
Yes, Your Grace. Absolutely.
I see. Despite the fact Roose Bolton allied with Walder Frey. If it was me, I'd find it difficult to so quickly forgive the men who killed my
Oh, you
father.
bitch. You're so good.
Old allegiances are not easily abandoned. But now that the war is over, we must look to rebuild and forge new alliances. There are ships and shields to be built, and Joffrey will need a steady supply of ironwood for his armies. I'm told there are others who would happily serve that purpose, but I trust we can rely on House Forrester.
Forster Ironwood does seem rather unique.
Yes, Your Grace.
It would be a shame to see it fall into the hands of another house. I imagine you'd do almost anything to prevent that from happening, wouldn't you? Ask any Lannister, and they'd do whatever was necessary to save Casterly Rock. It would be unfortunate to see another house lay claim to what's yours.
Yes, Your Grace. I would do anything.
I see.
Uh-oh.
What would you have the girl do, Cersei? It's not as if she fought beside the Starks, wielding a battle axe for the Northern Army.
It raises an interesting question, I suppose. Can we truly blame those who end up on the wrong side of the war? Our dear Marjorie here was betrothed to Renly Baratheon on the false assumption that he would one day rule the Seven Kingdoms. Can we fault her for her mistake? Should she be held accountable?
I won't judge her, Your Grace. I wasn't there. I didn't face her decisions.
Aren't you a delightful girl?
Good job.
If only one could flit through life without ever holding an opinion of their own.
If there's a point to this, I hope you find it quickly.
Loyalty can be such a hard thing to define. This city alone is filled with all sorts of ambitious opportunists looking to reinvent themselves, pretending to be something they're not. Who knows what lurks within their hearts? You are a girl from the north, here in service to Lady Marjorie. One can only assume her interests are yours. Yet loyalty to a king, that must be absolute, beyond question. And if your loyalties were to become conflicted between your king and the very person whom you serve, what would you do then?
I'm sure she
Let the
would...
girl answer the question. Go on.
I would be true to the king, Your Grace.
Please.
Well said.
Hold on.
I was beginning to worry you didn't have
but
your
Marjorie,
priorities
like-
straight.
I see.
She is a threat to the crown, isn't she? The most dangerous handmaiden in all of King's Landing.
Damn it. I said to
My
Cersei
sense
just.
is this girl will say almost anything to get what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Which is not very encouraging.
Great.
I'd like a word with you, if I may.
Of course, Your
Fuck
Grace.
me. Okay. Great. Whew. Hi.
I'll walk you out. This may come as a surprise, but I met your father once, at the tourney at Lannisport. Even then he didn't trust Roose Bolton. We only spoke briefly, but your father struck me as an honorable man. You have my condolences for his loss. These would be trying times for your family, even under the best of circumstances.
Thank you, Lord Tyrion. That's very kind of you to say.
Tyrion's repeated English
certainly
voice
took
acting
courage.
here is much better than
To
Destiny.
so publicly declare your loyalty to Joffrey for all to hear. Poor Lady Marjorie was humiliated. although Cersei seemed quite pleased. It was quite the first impression. I, of course, found it all highly entertaining.
I was trying to appease her.
I think that was clear to everyone. My sister and I have our differences. She takes great pleasure in her little charades. I take mine in thwarting them. We must find our amusements where we can. She threatened to give your ironwood to another house. It is the Master of Coin who decides such matters. The Crown needs boats. Boats need wood, and I speak for the Crown in this regard, not her.
What are you suggesting?
I suppose the Crown could be persuaded to secure ironwood from House Forrester. Lady Marjorie might not look favorably on such an alliance, and it would infuriate Cersei. Although what would be amusing for me might prove rather dangerous for you and your house. Are you willing to risk that? It may be far too dangerous. In fact, forget I even suggested such a thing.
It's a risk I'm willing to take, Lord Tyrion. Please.
You are a brave girl, aren't you? I'll consider it.
I'm gonna make her more brave
Now,
than the
if you'll
two
excuse
male
me,
characters.
I promised Sansa I would join her for dinner tonight. 3 beautiful bottles of Dornish wine await my arrival. The mere thought of them makes me thirsty already.
Thank you for the advice, Lord Tyrion.
Just be careful. This is not the North. King's Landing can be a nest of vipers to the uninitiated.
Red Vipers, perhaps?
Mira, I was worried. How was it? Cersei has a way of looking at you as though you're nothing. It's more than a little intimidating.
Ah, stay silent, damn it.
Sorry, I shouldn't have asked. Lady Marjorie has spent the entire day working on seating arrangements for the wedding. Of course, you and I are seated way at the back, here with the 4th cousins and the 9th-born sons. Ah, Sir Jaime. I wouldn't mind tarnishing that white cloak of his.
Sarah!
What? It's true. And Oberyn Martell.
There we go.
The Red Viper.
There we go.
I'm told he has a paramour.
Oh, he's quite handsome.
He is quite handsome.
I'm smooth.
And quite passionate, from what I've heard. Perhaps Lady Marjorie could make the right introductions. Who knows? We might meet our future husbands.
I doubt
Although,
that.
Marrying a king? I can only imagine what that would be like.
Can handmaidens
Would you marry
king?
Joffrey if it meant you'd become queen?
Hell no.
He does have a certain look about him. And he's always treated Lady Marjorie well.
I'd be willing to marry, but not Joffrey.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
Well, I would marry him. Imagine the power you would have as Queen of the 7 Kingdoms.
You'd be
I
dead.
might even allow you to be my handmaiden.
Joffrey would just torture you.
Let's see, who else should we marry off? Brienne of Tarth and Tyrion Lannister.
No!
What a perfect match. Sir Bronn and...
You'd be perfect
What
for
are you
Joffrey.
doing?
Oh, shit. Now I'm gonna get it.
Well,
I'm sorry, my lady.
As am I. We shouldn't have been messing about. This is not a game. It's a battle plan. Allies and enemies can be made with every move. Yet they say it is men who are powerful. The Queen was pleased by your display, Mira.
Good.
I'm just glad it's over.
Yeah, sorry about what I said. Did mean it.
King's Landing can be exhausting sometimes. There's always someone to please or some perceived slight to smooth over. I fear it will only get worse when I am queen. Once they know your true heart, the lords and ladies will have no choice but to love you. Do you agree?
It doesn't matter what you feel. It only matters what you say.
You learn very quickly. You were brave agreeing to obey the Boltons. That cannot have been easy. I know you must fear what Lord Bolton might do to your family. I do appreciate your willingness to appease her, as difficult as it may have been.
Thank you, my lady. There's been something on my mind. Something important. I did have a favor to ask of you in return.
Whatever you wish to say, you can say it in front of Sarah.
That's
There
a
are no
bad
secrets
idea.
between us.
That is a bad, bad idea.
It's about my family.
I trust her.
I prefer to speak with you alone.
Sorry about that. I'm sure she will.
Go on. Ask.
Forgive me, my lady. I wouldn't otherwise ask this of you, but my mother insisted. It's about my family.
Ramsay Snow. What would you have me do?
My mother fears our family will suffer if Ramsay is left to do as he likes. She thought, if a raven could be sent to the Boltons to let them know House Forrester has the protection of the crown. I know it's a lot to ask of you, and I wouldn't otherwise, but she insisted.
That is no small request, especially now.
I know, my lady, and I wouldn't ask this of you otherwise. But my mother has left me no choice. She insisted.
Joffrey knows only too well your family fought for the Starks, and now you would have me ask him to intervene. Is the situation that dire?
Kinda.
Joffrey will not look favorably on such a request.
My mother feels it is urgent, my lady. She's unfamiliar with King's Landing and its politics. I hope you can understand that.
Very well. I'll make your request, but I cannot promise anything.
Thank you, my lady. I will send a raven to my family at once.
Bye. Somebody died.
Seven hells.
You should have stayed at an inn or something.
Let's play a little game.
There we
Wait.
go. You little asshole.
Did you know my ancestors wore the skins of their enemies as a coat? Not my best work, unfortunately. I suppose I have fallen out of practice. But he didn't make it easy, what with all that bloody noise.
Like a drowning cat. I thought he'd never stop.
As my father likes to say, a naked man holds few secrets. But the flayed man holds none.
That is
Pity
true.
you didn't know your father was the Warden of the North.
He does now. How much further is it to these Foresters?
A day, my lord. 2 at most.
What was that?
My lord?
Shh. Listen. There. Hear that? I know I heard something. Never mind. We've wasted enough time already.
Whew. Made the right choice there.